When the kids are 6 and 8 and now you're not planning to have any more, do you miss those days with the little infant before they have a personality? I've also heard they turn 12 and suddenly they hate you. I hope to not go through that. Bro, you hate me? What do you mean? Why do you hate me? I love you. What did I do?
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oops, the podcast. Giulio Gallerati with Ryan Lynch.
Yo, how are you guys doing today?
How are all of you doing? Just a reminder, I'm going to be at Coastal Creative, St. Pete, Florida, the 10th of November. And then big show, closing off my year with a bang, 12/16 Royal Theatre, Toronto. It's going to be the biggest venue that I've ever headlined, I think. I'm pretty confident that it's about 400 seater. It's a small theater. I am very excited. I want it to be the biggest and best show of my entire life. I hope you will all come out and tell all your friends. That is the update.
That's sick.
Yeah. So Ryan, you've been going to war with Chipotle. This has caught steam. Ryan is a very good TikToker. And I feel like an old person using TikTok. At one point, I had a kind of poppin' account, but my account got banned, and it wasn't that poppin'. I had like 50,000 followers, which
that's poppin'.
For TikTok is not that poppin'. It is.
It's more poppin' than I am.
I know, but yours is like better. I don't know how to describe it. Yours is like more hands-on. You're heading there too. Right now, I have like less than 10,000. My shit's a joke. But the Oops account is good. Follow it. Ryan has a clip popping off right now. Tell us about the Revolte.
Yeah, so I'm actually leading America in the PPP. It is the petty portion protest against Chipotle. And it is to combat the lack of consistency that Chipotle has been pumping out over the years.
So this is both in person and takeout?
This is I think right now, because this is so fresh, right now my only plans that I have in mind, unless you have ideas, is for in-person purchases. Mm-hmm. So basically, I went to Chipotle the other day, and I'm sure you guys go every once in a while, or maybe you go often. And that is my healthy fast food. I go in there, and I know people say it's not as healthy as you think it is. In my mind, it is a healthy, wholesome protein meal.
Agreed, by the way.
Right? And whenever you go in there, you never know what kind of burrito you're going to get. Sometimes they skimp you on the rice. Sometimes they skimp you on the protein. Sometimes you get too much sour cream and not enough protein. And so the inconsistency is frustrating.
And stressful.
And it is stressful because you need to speak up for yourself. Like, you really need to speak up for yourself. I make eye contact when I walk in. I say hello. Sometimes I say, hi, how are you? And I wait for them to respond. And then we get started with our whole spiel. And the other day, just another bad experience. What?
I'm sorry. I had a quick question to add.
Oh.
Do you say, hey, how are you, thinking that they'll be more likely to serve you generously because you've connected with them?
Yes.
It's selfish. I knew it. You dog.
It is. I don't care. They they fuck you over big time. And whatever. I went recently, and too much protein got shaken out of the spoon, and I was done, and I was fed up. And I recently saw a guy in the middle of his order turn around and walk out mid-order.
Legend.
I almost came.
Were you
sorry?
Were you sure that was why he did it?
Yes.
It was obvious. He just saw a pathetic chicken scoop.
I saw him raise his eyebrow like.
The person went, protein, pricky protein.
On the counter?
Yeah. Like when they just like. Dude, like we need some more enthusiasm behind the counter there.
So basically, I originally called for all employees at Chipotle to be replaced by robots, and that people didn't like that, but a lot of people did like it, and that's actually concerning. So I since then have
I'm open to that. I support you.
I've matured into the idea of okay, let's not bash on the employees. It's a tough job. You got to deal with shitty customers and a lot of micromanagement, and I've recently learned that managers and former managers at Chipotle are told that certain allocations of protein need to be given out at certain shift levels.
Wow.
And so they have different metrics and different numbers they need to meet
Like throughout the day?
throughout the day.
So if they're giving too much out, they got to give less at the end of the day.
Yes.
Interesting.
If they're giving too much out, they're not following the rules because they want to increase profit. My message to Chipotle right now is to replace their spoons for the protein with a measuring cup. You look at competitors like Kava, Sweetgreen, Dig, all of them have measuring cups. So you are getting a proper, consistent portion every time you go. Now, Chipotle, they can do small measuring cups. All we want is consistency because we're paying $15 to $18 for a bowl of inconsistency.
Really? You're paying that much?
Yeah.
Are you getting extra shit? Are you getting guacamole?
Yeah. Don't. It's all part of the movement.
It's fine. No. I'm just, okay.
Regardless, it's not everybody in the comment section is like, I pay $9, I pay $20. Like it's about the protein. It's about getting the same protein for the same price. So I'm calling for Chipotle to switch over from spoon to the measuring cup, and if they don't, we're all going to start walking out whenever we're not happy with the portion of protein that we get. And we're just going to do it. You can't stop us. Like, you can't stop us. And I know
the people have spoken.
Like, people are mad. Like, everyone's tagging Chipotle in the
people are
the
agreeing.
two TikToks. Everyone's agreeing.
Dude, I love it, bro.
I've gotten like 20 mentions where people are stitching the video. Former Chipotle employees.
Oh my God.
This is, I really, and Victoria was like, you better like be making money off of this. Like, because
Fuck
you're
yeah,
spending
dude.
a lot of time on this. And I'm like, Vic, making money off of this would be great. But if we can make a difference, like.
Dude, forget Jared from Subway, Ryan from Chipotle.
Before the pedophile.
Before the
thing.
diddling.
No diddling.
No diddling.
No
None.
future pedophiling either. But I really believe that Chipotle, I really believe that they're going to see the video and they're going to have a conversation about it. Yeah. And I really hope that if you're not happy with the portion that you get, you just turn around and walk out. Now, someone might be saying, well, if they're not giving you enough protein, just ask for a little more. Now, the problem with that, G, is that when they skimp you out on the protein, you get a small scoop, and you say, hey, can I get a little more chicken? They'll look at you, and they'll say, oh, you want double? And in your mind, you're thinking, I don't want double. I just want one full portion. So me asking for extra isn't me asking for twice as much. I'm just asking for the one full portion that I was expecting when I asked for it. And
you can say that. You can say, no, I don't want double. I just felt that the single... I saw some of the chicken fall. I mean, you'll feel like a piker while you're doing it. But, dude, Zach McGovern, the guy who's been opening for me, he does shit like this all the time. Yeah. And he doesn't give a fuck. Yeah. It's very dad energy. And my dad, I think, might go. My dad, I don't think would do it. But if he were to, he'd go, oh, I just noticed a lot of the chicken fall off. Like, I'm hungry. Yeah. Yeah. So just saying.
And, here's the inside scoop. We've gotten tons of comments.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. Inside scoop. People that have worked at Chipotle have commented, and they've mentioned that if they see somebody that is a little more frail, or they see a woman walk in, they tend to give them less protein than if they were to see a guy that was just getting back from the gym.
Wow.
There's no rhyme or reason. Obviously management,
that's crazy.
Obviously management wants, to cut back, and they want portions to be consistently smaller, but they're inconsistently being allocated depending on like profiling.
Well, did they talk about fat people? Do they give fat people more, or do they decide that guy shouldn't be eating so much, I'm going to give him less?
It honestly depends on who is at the station. They might have, a brother that is overweight and they love him, so they see their brother through that customer and they give them extra protein. Or maybe they don't like people that are overweight, or they don't like women, or they don't like guys with blue eyes. Like whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Maybe they're just
your eyes are blue?
Yeah. Maybe they're just having a bad day. It doesn't matter. And I get that. It's definitely a hard job. It's a demanding job. And you got the DoorDash guys that are just like, just like, and they're like, I know, I see you. Just
wearing
like,
a giant Velcro backpack.
Those guys, I aspire to have their confidence.
Oh, they don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck, dude. They are just like a bunch of chickens in like a coop, just like hopping around. And they're like, this is my order. I'm here to pick up. Like, I don't have that confidence. And you shouldn't be intimidated to go into Chipotle and order a meal. You really got to take a deep breath before you go in there, and you got to stick up for yourself. And more times than not, it turns into an altercation or a tense moment where I think corporate needs to just make a small change. Switch from the spoon, give us a measuring cup so we know what we're getting every time we get it. Because it's expensive. And a lot of people are like, well, Chipotle used to be $10 and now it's $20. Like, there's inflation.
In what world is it 20?
I don't know. People also, there's tons of people commenting, ones with smart ideas and ones with not so smart ideas, just trying to get in on the fun. Anybody, I invite all of you to get in on the action. I really think we're going to make a difference. I'm starting to ramble, so I'll cut it off. Just I'm leading us as part of the PPP, the proper portion, the petty portion protest, and
The proper portion police.
Ooh. Brought to you by the proper portion police. We're going to make a change. I promise you. Like, if you're not an Oops listener and you're coming here just because of the movement, like, thanks, stick around. I really think that this is going to make a big impact. Thousands of people are reaching out and messaging the clip to Chipotle. They're tagging them in it. And I'm starting to shake right now. I'm so excited. We're really going to make a difference. Just if you're not happy, turn around and walk out. They're going to get the message, and just scream PPP.
Dude, it's funny. I thought that the protest outside of the Chipotle near my apartment was about Israel-Palestine, but it's actually about portions. Chicken. I was wondering why they were yelling chicken. So get in on the fun, guys. Get in on the fun. Ryan, I love it.
Thank you.
Doing the Lord's work.
Thank you.
Very, very good.
Cool. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I want to say thanks to everybody in Oklahoma who gave me good recommendations. Shout out to Autumn, whose family is involved. I believe owns many City Bites locations, if not all of them, in Oklahoma. Great sandwiches. That worked out really nicely. Shout out to my friend Ashley, who's given me some recommendations in Tulsa. And then, of course, Allie Hall hooking it up. Telling me not only where to go, but getting me a good in at the Fordson Hotel, which was sick, dude. Potentially the sickest hotel I've ever stayed at, and the best room. I think that having somebody on the inside helped with the room selection, but it was probably the biggest room I've ever been in. You want me to show you? It's like pretty.
Yeah,
did I show you?
No, you haven't. What did you love so much about it?
Dude, it was just sick. It's like a converted, it is a converted Ford factory from like way back when. And so it's like massive and the ceilings are massive. I think that all the visiting basketball teams stay there.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, oh, this is perfect because this room is perfect for a gigantic human because it's massive. So I was like, oh, this makes sense. But dude, I'm going to show you this room and you're going to be blown away.
It is sick.
Anyway, what a sick experience. And like, being in an unbelievably nice hotel on the road, I'm not used to that. I stay in like okay rooms usually, but I usually just stay at like, I don't know, a Spring Hill Suites or something like that. I sometimes get a good rate at some of those spots. So like I'll stay there or wherever the club puts me, but I'm never staying in like a top hotel in the area. So that was pretty sick.
Yeah, that room looked awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like you could throw like a huge orgy in there. Like there were plenty of room. Plenty of room. Plenty of room.
Dude, they also left a bottle of champagne for me with a really fun, cute note. Welcome to the Fordson Hotel. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Here's a terrible joke for you. What do you call a bear with no teeth? A gummy bear. Anyway, have fun in OKC.
Anyway.
Cute, right? I was like, that's very, very cute. So yeah, thanks for coming out to those shows. I was at Bricktown Comedy Clubs in Tulsa, which is a new club, and also Bricktown Comedy Club in Oklahoma City. Really fun. Guys, as the holidays get closer, there are lots of occasions for gift giving. Opt for sustainable, high quality, and often unique gift options from our favorite, Reboot Eco.
We love Reboot Eco.
We love Reboot Eco. The best for the world. Also, just so tickled at the different variety of clever products that they offer. The variety of gift options available at Reboot Eco still tick the usual boxes. Sustainably and ethically made. practical and functional, and always cost effective. The Reboot Eco Shop has a specially curated selection of high quality products made in the US, so it's easy to shop local and support small businesses this holiday season. Reboot Eco covers the spectrum from full-on tree huggers to total skeptics, and I think that is a really important point. It's not just for total tree huggers, and that is the goal, right? You start with the tree huggers, but then you make it widespread.
They just have good products.
They have good products.
That's it at the end of the day.
You don't have to make any sacrifices to your lifestyle, whether it be beauty products, toothbrushes, toothpaste, cleaning products, everything you need for your life. Deodorant. Reboot Eco has it. It's sustainably sourced, it's sustainable, and it works for a better lifestyle for the environment. What more could you want?
You know something that we need as people that are in front of cameras?
What?
Well, I got to make sure our teeth are clean. I use the biodegradable charcoal dental floss.
Oh, sick.
I actually walk out of the apartment. I do just a little bit of flossing just to make sure that I'm looking good before we hop on, because there's nothing worse than a little piece of chicken. Right? Isn't that gross?
Gross. And dude, honestly, yeah, if you're not flossing, you're making a mistake. The next time you're bringing a host gift or filling your loved one's stocking, avoid getting lame gifts that will just rot in the landfill. Fun fact, every toothbrush you have ever used, every plastic toothbrush, will outlive you, and every single one that's ever been created is still on the planet.
That's insane.
Insane.
That's disgusting.
Give a gift that can be used by you and appreciated and envied by others. You look like you put in more thought and effort into it than you actually had to. Reboot Eco makes it easy and affordable. Want to start your new year out right? Check out Reboot Eco's online shop and make a wish list to share with family and friends. Check out the online shop right now for a variety of options. I always love going on there and seeing what new stuff is up on the website. And I get excited about living a sustainable life. So go to rebooteco.com, use promo code OOPS for 15% off of your order. We really think that your loved ones and your friends are going to love this stuff. Rebooteco.com. That's REBOOTECO.com. Promo code OOPS, 15% off of your order. Got to hit the second of the two national park sites in Oklahoma. I had been to the Chickasaw National Recreation Area, I think what it's called. And I then got to go to the Washita Battlefield, which was a lot of fun. Got to get off the beaten path. It was a little bit like kind of on a main highway stretch for most of it, which I was like a little bummed about because there was only like a small period of kind of like getting into the thick of it. But like all national park sites, they've set up a really sick loop, like walking trail, which is like mile and a half, which only takes like, half an hour if you walk at a gentle pace. There was a bunch of grasshoppers and it was really pretty. And it's a place where General Custer I'd heard the name General Custer, but I didn't know what he did. But he sort of like delivered some pretty significant losses to the local tribes, which I was kind of like, but anyway.
I had to ask,
yeah.
Can you explain in a few sentences, you said this is the Washita Battlefield?
Yeah.
What happened?
That General Custer defeated the local tribes in a pretty significant way. I guess the tribes had been making it difficult for settlers. Obviously, the settlers are settling land that doesn't belong to them. And, the local population was not a fan of it. And on this day, I believe 1868, General Custer delivered a back-breaking blow to the local forces in some sort of decisive fashion that the national park system felt was notable enough to document.
So what was on? So there was a circle.
Well, it's not a circle, but it's like where the battlefield was. They've turned it into like a walking path.
Got it.
So it was pretty. There's like a little visitor center that was cool. And it's funny, the girl working, I hope she's listening to this because we told her to check it out. Kate, who works at the Washita National Battlefield in the visitor center. This is one of those parks that is not super busy. It's kind of random. There aren't tons of people coming from everywhere to visit. I don't think the way that I'm attacking the national parks, I don't think most people are. I think most people are just going to the national parks. They don't go beyond the parks themselves. They don't go to the units the way that I do. So mine include all the historic sites, all the whatever. You've heard my spiel a million times about why I think that that's so cool. But anyway, at this particular one, Kate is sitting there working by herself. Nobody really else around, and they don't let her listen to music.
Ooh.
Here is a petition, since we're doing petitions on this episode. Petition to let Kate listen to music while she's working, dude.
Yeah.
For crying out loud.
Yeah. Did she tell you? Was she like, "Hey, Julia, I don't get to listen to music"?
Zach was just like, "You don't even get to listen to music." She's like, "No, I don't." He's like, "Hey, what's the big idea?" And she's like, "Yeah, you're right." And then that was pretty much it.
Huh. We'll make a few calls.
Yeah, had a nice time in Oklahoma. So a couple more funny things about Oklahoma. I went to this amazing vegan restaurant called Pure that was in Tulsa. Tulsa had a few gems, dude. That was one of them. The food was amazing, but it was really interesting and funny, and I wonder why this was the case. But in this vegan restaurant, there were options to put meat on things.
Interesting.
I've never seen that. So it's like, at one point the guy took my order and then just like had a brain fart and didn't tell the people making the food to make the food. He then switched shifts, and the new girl was realizing I was just sitting there, and she's like, "Did you order and she's like, "Oh my God." She's like, "I'm sorry. The guy working before, sometimes his brain just doesn't work." She immediately throws him under the bus, which was fair there. She had nothing to do with this. Then she said, "Sorry, I'm not kidding," 10 times. I was like, all good. I appreciate how bad you feel, because that was pretty stupid, but whatever, all good. She's like, "Do you want some free chicken or something?" And I'm like, "No, I'm here because I don't want to eat meat." Not that I don't eat meat, but I just thought that was interesting. And I was wondering if like, maybe is there just like not a big enough population to be profitable by doing that, and people are like just dipping their toe in veganism, or is meat just so popular around there that it's like a different version of it? You know what I mean? I don't really know.
I thought my naive ass thought that vegan restaurants were just in like California and in New York City. But,
dude, every
it's interesting
city
that every city has one.
Every city has them. I know people from the coasts think stuff about some of the middle of the country states. You know, I've famously always said that they are really failing to appreciate the nuance of every place, because every place has everything, dude. We went out in Oklahoma City to like the most Gen Z bar I've ever been to, where it was like, good luck figuring out what gender anybody in this bar was. You know what I mean? Like totally hip, totally with the new shit. So like, don't make assumptions about places. But anyway, Tulsa, that place was really good. Dude, I went to what is maybe the best cocktail bar I've ever been to in my entire life in
That place
Tulsa.
looked sick.
It's called Valkyrie. Everybody recommended it. It was sick. I remember sitting at the bar, chopping it up with the bartender. And it was one of these like really funny things where like, it was like an old school encounter where I'm alone at the bar. I might as well have had my cash on the table. You know, like an old bar, they'll just have your cash. And I'm chopping it up with the bartender who's busy, but I'm like alone. I have no one to talk to. I'm like lonely. I'm like, you've been working here a while? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, dude. I'm like, I'm in town for work. I'm like hoping he's going to ask me what I do, but he doesn't. Like, not because I want to say I'm a comedian thinking he's going to think I'm cooler, but I'm there alone that first day. Zach was coming the next day. Yeah. But dude, he made me the best Negroni I've ever had.
Did he make it right in front of you?
Yes. And I had to ask. So it's one of those bars where you go in there and you tell them what you like, and they make some suggestions based on it. I've always had this theory that in smaller cities, the people making the cocktails like really take pride in it more. Like in any given bar that has a cocktail list, you're going to find somebody who's proud of making that cocktail. Whereas I don't feel the same way here. Anyway, this place is like the pinnacle. You tell them what you want, they make it. But this is what was in this one, and it was very interesting. So it was a mezcal Negroni, which I obviously always like. I forget what the name of the cocktail was, but which has traditionally, instead of gin, mezcal, if you want to be a douche, Campari and sweet vermouth, or dry sweet vermouth, I don't even know. But this one also had Aperol in it and gin. Dude, it was amazing.
How did the gin and mezcal blend?
Great.
It was good?
Oh my dude. And I went back the next night because I needed to show McGovern. I'm like, dude, you got to try this. And then we went back to back nights, had a blast.
Same bartender?
Same bartender.
That's
so
fun.
I had established rapport with him at this point.
Did you like wave?
I was
Did
like,
he
dude, what's
recognize
up? He remembered my drink. He's like, oh dude. He's like, did you like that? Do you want to go for that again? So we had that. Then I think we had 2, and then I think we switched to another one, which at this point for me, 3 drinks is all I need. I had a show the next day. We had to drive a bit. I was like, I can't go much harder than this. But it was good to be there. Tulsa was cool. There's a lot of Art Deco architecture. I'd never been there before. And it was like kind of gloomy. It's interesting, like Art Deco architecture, gloom, and like a spread out city landscape feel sort of ominous. I was like, this feels a little ominous to me in a way that was kind of cool, but we're out here doing it. We're out here doing the Lord's work in Oklahoma. Final fun Oklahoma thought. We were at a gas station and I bought, it was like a gas station in the middle of nowhere. and there was all these like cowboy signs and Jesus signs. Like you're in the thick of it, right? At this point, stop at a gas station. It prompts me to tap. So I go to tap and it like doesn't work, and the woman just goes, "We ain't got none of that bougie shit." And I was like, "Oh, that's funny." I was like, "Oh, well, it said it." And she's like, "I know." She's like, and she wasn't like giving me shit, but it was pretty funny.
That's
and then
cute.
Yeah, I was like, "That's pretty cute." So I just stick the card in, get in there, get out, rock and roll.
Did she have gray hair in a ponytail?
I don't think she had gray hair in a ponytail, but she had her hair in a ponytail, and she will have gray hair in a ponytail.
Okay.
Someday.
Interesting.
But she wasn't quite. But you're painting the right picture.
Mm-hmm.
You have the right idea.
That's fun. That's a cute interaction.
Yeah, it was nice.
That's nice.
Ryan, I really like the touch that you've added to the show where you're throwing in the big G flute as the censorship.
Mm-hmm.
That's been fun. A couple people have noticed. That's pretty fucking fun.
It is fun. It's nice to have a sprinkle of Big G in the show.
We got to get him back in here. We're intending to roll out some Big G related Hadam Raccoons merch for the holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some mugs, maybe some tees, maybe some sweatshirts. I don't know specifically yet what it's going to be.
We have something coming.
We got something coming. The Hadam Raccoons update. Big G fell off his scooter in the driveway.
Oh, when was this?
Fortunately, he wasn't going fast. He didn't even tell me either, but they told Hill Dog. So I don't know if he forgot to tell me or if he was messing with her. But he's been riding it around town, and if you see him, give him the salute.
What is the salute?
I don't even know.
You got to tell him to tell us what he wants us to do if we see him out and about, and if we're not a member yet.
Okay. The Hadam Raccoons.
Some sort of sign of respect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's good. I'm going to text him right now. What is the Hadam Raccoons salute?
The raccoon salute.
Guys, we'd like to introduce you to our newest sponsor, Diet Smoke. Diet Smoke is the premier source for THC products. I don't know about you. I don't like getting too high.
No.
Anytime where I'm puffing on a whatever and I've taken one or two puffs too many, I immediately feel it. And suddenly, the only thing I can do to fix that is go to bed. Because if I stay awake, it's going to be bad. So for me, as far as Diet Smoke goes, I love a milder edible. I love the 10 milligram sleep gummies. The grape is delicious. My personal favorite. Lynch likes something a little stronger. He likes kind of the pure THC edibles.
Yeah, I like the I like the pure THC edibles. I like to take them before watching movies or getting a little creative just for an extra boost of energy. That's how I enjoy Diet Smoke.
Absolutely, man. With a wide range of strengths and doses, Diet Smoke promises you'll find the perfect product for you. Whether you want something strong to unwind, a boost of energy to keep you going, or a lighter option for a mellow high, I know that's what I like. Diet Smoke is perfect. Diet Smoke has THC gummies, drinks, and smokables, each one made to deliver the premium balance of flavor and effect. And they understand that everybody's different, which is why they've dedicated to helping you find the right match. Their customer service team will be by your side, guiding you along the way, which I think is very helpful. And no question is a dumb one, guys. Don't settle for less. Join the Diet Smoke community and discover the buzz for you. Visit dietsmoke.com today and use code OOPS for 50% off of any item and enjoy your journey into cannabis bliss. Diet Smoke, your partner in finding the perfect THC products. So, my parents were concerned about the Microsoft clip.
Why?
Because they thought that they don't want me to move to Seattle. They don't want me to move far away. But also my dad was like, as a listener of the pod, he's like, I don't want to think that you're not intending to continue doing the pod. I'm like, all right, dude, I think that hopefully everybody knows that I'm sort of kidding. I'm obviously sort of being serious, which is why it's funny, but I'm obviously mostly kidding. I don't think that this job opportunity exists. This Microsoft, for anybody who missed that episode, I want to get a job, jokingly, but seriously, working for Microsoft, creating internal content for the company to boost company morale. I want to be paid $500,000 a year. I want them to also offer Hill Dog a position where she makes $300K a year with potential incentives and bonuses to make more, which she's not happy about. Why am I making more than her? Well, I don't know. I'm the one who's making up the guidelines. If you'd like to get involved, you can maybe try to get yourself a higher salary.
It's a guideline making tax.
It's a guideline making tax, correct. But anyway, my parents took it very seriously, and I told them, don't worry, even if I were to get that job,
so cute. Making
internal content really aligns well with the pod. I'll be doing plenty of fun stuff, which we'll be able to talk about here. And You guys don't have to worry. I'm not going anywhere. The pod will always live on. I intend to always have a pod of some kind. What a great tool for a comedian.
Yeah. I did get I tagged Microsoft Office 365 in the video clip, and they responded with 2 purple hearts.
Did they really?
Yeah, so there's
Hey.
there's a door that's opening.
There's a door that may be opening there, Ryan.
It's at least unlocked. So
This is very exciting.
I hope they see it.
Yeah. Okay, let's pivot here real quick. I have a new pet peeve.
All right.
This is the pet peeve that I have. When I sign up for a thing and put my card down, that to me, I shouldn't have to do anything else. I hate when I do that and then I get asked if to confirm later. The day before, I'll get some sort of text or email being like, confirm that you're coming. I'm like, I confirmed by putting my card down and by making the reservation. Now I've agreed that if I don't come, you guys can charge me, right? So I had an appointment. I got a little face gym done before I went and shot that commercial to try to look chiseled and good. When I got there, they're like, oh, you're here? And I was like, yeah. They're like, they go, you didn't confirm. Dude, I go, yeah, I did. I confirmed by making the appointment and putting my card down. Why should I have to confirm more? Why are you surprised to see me? Isn't that annoying?
It is annoying. It's very much like the 24-hour thing.
I know. And I've been noticing at a lot of services I use, they'll be like, text Y to confirm the day before. And I'm like, bro, I confirmed already. And I don't know if people are just like getting out of no showing and getting charged. Like their credit card company is disputing and they're winning or something. But like that pisses me off, dude. Why am I jumping through hoops?
So what did they say when you said that you put your credit card down?
They're like, it's fine.
But they said it like that?
She was like, oh, we didn't think you were coming. You didn't confirm. I'm like, what?
I don't get that. Why do we have all these extra steps?
I know. We don't need steps. I put my card down. I confirmed. It's over.
Because the credit card thing is a new thing of accountability. Like that's new. They started rolling that out, and I get that. People are no showing.
Right. So, but they'll tell you on Resi or whatever, if you don't show, you're going to charge 50 per person or whatever.
And you agree to that when you put it down. I don't know. I agree with you. Yeah, it's it's frustrating.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
Add that to the pet peeves list.
Yeah, we're coming for everybody.
We're coming
today.
for everybody, dude.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. They deserve it. Dude, another thing that I've noticed that's pretty interesting. Have you ever watch a video on Instagram and like somebody gets run over by a car or like a brick falls off a ceiling and hits someone in the head or somebody does something stupid?
Yeah.
One of the top comments is always somebody who knows the outcome. There's always someone who's like, they survived. Or there's a person who's like, like I saw one of a guy fainting when he got sentenced to life in prison with no parole. And everyone's like, this is what's wrong with the system. But like the number 3 comment was like, oh, that guy raped and murdered 2 children in cold blood. And it's absolutely no question as to whether or not he did it. And every time, and I challenge you guys listening, anytime, and I commented on that, how is there always someone who knows what happened? And they got like a ton of action. But anytime there's a thing that unfolds on some kind of story like that, there is always someone in the comments who knows the specific incident and the specific outcome of the parties involved in the video. It's pretty fucking funny.
That is funny. I wonder if there's sometimes just blindly saying that without any knowledge just to get clout.
It's so specific that they must know. And they're like proud to chime in. Because if they're wrong, there happens to be somebody else who knows. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hate stumbling upon a video like that, especially when I don't search for them.
Like ones where you're not sure if the person survived or not?
No, like the ones where you know the person didn't survive.
Oh, those are terrible.
Like you see someone die.
Well, oh, Jesus.
Twitter is real. We talked
Twitter's
about this
bad
before off
because
camera.
There's no like censorship on Twitter.
No, none. I also heard that Musk is he's going to turn Twitter into a dating app too.
Wow.
But that's besides the point. That's for another day. But yeah, you'll open up Twitter and I get my Yankees updates. I get my LeBron James injury updates, and then you see like a dog die. I hate the dogs dying. I don't want to see the dogs dying.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
Dogs dying on screen is worse than a person.
You know what dog stuff I get? Hillary will send me a video of a dog who's retiring from the police force. And everybody claps and they give him a nice meal. And it's maybe the most heartwarming thing in the world. I'm glad that my algorithm is the opposite of your sick, twisted one, dude.
Yeah.
You're watching animals be put to rest.
Yeah, I don't like it. Though I like gruesome stuff, but not that.
Why is Twitter being called X? Has anyone figured that out?
I don't think so.
Do we know anything about that?
No, it's stupid. I miss the bird.
I miss the bird.
I miss the light blue bird. I love the colors of the apps. Instagram's got purple, Snapchat's yellow, Facebook's blue, and then the bird was a light blue, and now it's just black, and the logo sucks, and it looks like they're gonna that you have to change that logo. That can't be the logo forever.
Dude, I
That's
feel
got to
like
be a Washington football team placeholder logo.
right. The black and white logo is generally, I get why it seems cool, and maybe it worked for the Raiders, but like I don't think it works for the Nets. I think the Nets need like better colors, and it doesn't work for X, aka Twitter.
I agree. Barclays Center, like the court, it's just dark and gloomy.
It sucks.
It's too dark in there.
Yeah.
There's no character.
Dude, totally. Well, speaking of which, Bad Bunny only scheduled Barclays Center. He did not schedule any Madison Square Garden, which I'm like, damn, that's like semi-savage. I wonder like what the thought process is behind that. If it's like a vibe thing, or maybe like MSG just cost too much. Fuck it, do it at Brooklyn or whatever. But I got on the wait list for pre-sale, and then the tickets came out, and I don't know if like I was just too far down the wait list, but all the like nosebleeds were gone. And now it was only close to the stage stuff. And they're just like starting at like $1,000 or $1,200 each. And I'm like, this is too expensive. I just can't stomach spending that much. So I'm just going to try to get creative with that. I've already gotten 2 really cool messages. A guy in LA who's going to have a suite invited me. I don't know if Hill Dog's invited too though. So I'm kind of like, I can't just go and not bring Hill Dog. And then a listener, thank you so much for offered me tickets in Charlotte for like 500 face value. So I don't know if it makes sense to go down to Charlotte for us, but those are both some viable options. And one thing I will say, dude, last time in DC when we went to the National Stadium. We had quote good seats, but like we were still, 20 rows back, and the stage is in like the outfield. So we're nowhere near the stage, bro. We could barely. Bad Bunny was like a peanut size, and we were specifically looking at the Jumbotron, and we had the best time. So I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter where we sit. I don't actually need to be close to the stage. I'm fine with nosebleeds for this. This isn't a basketball game. So I'm hoping that the day before, or like once the concert's already started, maybe I can like get tickets for really cheap and then go myself or something.
Yeah. I have a tough time justifying paying full price for especially a concert. Yeah. I'm always trying to weasel my way into getting tickets at a discount for Yankees games and the occasional Lakers game. Like I know one time through Oops, I got hooked up and I was able to go see the Lakers play in Brooklyn. Yep. That was fantastic. That was a bucket list item. Thank you so much.
Shout out to that a photographer whose name is escaping me currently.
It's escaping me too.
Hooked us up with that, but that was really huge, and we were excited for you on that one.
She is the official photographer for the Lakers. She posts the most insane content, and she has a secret handshake with LeBron.
Sick.
It's sick. But last season she was on. In the middle of the controversy because Pat Beverly took her camera when there was a blatant miscall, and Pat Beverly, she took a photo of it. So Pat Beverly took her camera without her, like just whipped it off of her and ran to the referee and showed him the photo. Maybe someone stepped out of bounds. It was one of those kinds of plays where you could tell by a picture that he made the wrong call, and he was showing the camera, and she's in the background. She's like, oh.
That's amazing.
And
though.
he got ejected and fined and everything, and she fell into the middle of it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I can't find her name right now, but
how much did you pay for Drake tickets?
I think a little under 400 each, and we had nosebleeds. And I usually rely on the Jumbotron or the monitors that they have, and the one in our section was broken. Yeah. So like, peanut. Drake was a little peanut.
Dude, I can't help but think that like suddenly nothing is affordable, and like even just like vacations and stuff, I'm just like, I may just never do anything again, dude. We'll see. But Ryan, how your workouts been going?
They've been going. I'm at the point now where I'm probably like a couple months into using Fitbod, and I've just become a machine. Like every day I get my workout at 9 a.m. on my phone.
Wow.
And whether or not I want to work out, I know I need to get it done because I set a goal to be doing 4 or 5 workouts a week.
So you're lifting 4 or 5 times a week?
Yes.
Wow.
Going into it, I love to focus on like my upper body, and I'm trying to put on some weight, and Fitbod is telling me that I need to do some leg workouts. I've always skipped leg day before Fitbod. Yeah. Now I don't skip leg day. I'm actually starting to like it a little bit.
Dude, leg day. So I've learned a little bit. Shout out to Tommy Kern, who's a legendary chiropractor and basically physical trainer for me, who helped me rehab my shoulder. I owe him everything. But he always says that like legs, they're the biggest muscles, and by working them out, your metabolism is faster and you're likely to burn more fat resting by doing them. It just makes you ripped. Which I'm like, damn, that rules. And you're looking pretty good. I saw you change shirts at some point and you look pretty damn good doing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, I noticed. But dude, good for you, man. So how are you breaking down, if you're doing 5 days a week, what are those workouts looking like?
The nice thing about Fitbod is I don't even need to think about it. It's just, you know, a little bit of legs one day, legs and shoulders, chest and biceps. It doesn't matter. They coordinate it exactly how you want to see yourself after X amount of time. So I set a goal of like how much I want to weigh in 15 to 20 months. And it was like, all right, this is the workout you need to be doing. And so I just trust it. I just blindly am trusting it.
We love it. We swear by it. You guys should go check it out. It's never been easier to get the results you've always wanted. Check out Fitbod. Get 25% off of your subscription at fitbod.me/oops. That's fitbod.me/oops. I have a positive update. We have a wedding date.
Oh, really?
It's going to be, I don't need to say specifically, but it will be next fall. We have a venue. We have venues. And let's just say, and I don't want to jinx it, I'm pretty sure we already have a deposit down on one of the things. And then the other thing, I'm not completely sure on, but I think it's looking like it's going to work out. And let's just say it's going to be an iconic New York wedding.
Wow.
It's going to be sick.
With how vague you're being, that does make it seem like it's going to be the case.
It's going to be at like, and you know, I don't know if I'm not, but like,
I know you're excited.
This is like, if I cared about this would be like Vogue covering it level wedding potentially. Like sick wedding, like sick fucking wedding.
That's sick. I walked out last week when we recorded with Hillary, and she just said, she's like, I think we got our spot, and I'm really excited. Yeah. And that was it. And there was a twinkle in her eye. Yeah. And there's a twinkle in your eye right now. Yeah.
I'm excited, dude. Awesome, it's pretty cool. It's gonna be fun. And wait, by the way, this is a hard right turn here, so we'll come back to this talk, but I want to add this. When I was posting the clip about me trying to get the job at Microsoft doing that, my first girlfriend replied to my story being like, this is basically my job now at Airbnb. And I was like, God damn it.
So it's out there. Dude, we should once a week maybe make a campaign video.
I know.
For all these different tech companies.
It reminds me that I just need to be making connections constantly and not get too hung up on this idea that somehow making myself accessible can be a negative thing. Mm-hmm. There are times where I've opened myself to friendships with people and then things got really weird. And then I'm like, why did I do this? Now I have this headache of this person, and like, I can maybe cut them out, but I don't like doing that. I don't want to have to do that, to cut people out, unless you really cross me in a way where I've done it recently, actually a couple times, where there's people where I'm like, this person is like really bothering me, and like, it's not fair. It's like a gaslighting situation where somehow they're acting like I'm being unreasonable, but like they are being unreasonable, where I'm like, I've had it. Mm-hmm. And it felt kind of good. And I feel a little bad about it, but a close friend of mine once told me, because I know he has had to do this sometimes. And I know that as you get bigger and bigger, not that I'm a big deal, and I'm not even talking about myself, but I've heard stories about like Tiger Woods was notorious for doing that to people, or like these famous people. Like, once you if you're like a famous person and you leave a mark on somebody, like that person's never going to forget that. So now, like, if that person wants to be friends with you, but you don't want to be friends with them back, there's just like, what do you do besides change your fucking phone number? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And again, I'm not talking about me specifically, because obviously I'm not at that level where that's a thing that I'm dealing with constantly. But I've talked to people about this, and I'm like, well, aren't you worried that you're going to bump into that person? Even if it's like a person who's good friends with them, they have to cut them out. And this person said this to me, and I'll never forget this. He's like, maybe it's really awkward to run into them, but that's better than dealing with them constantly. So that one day where you bump into them, it sucks, but it's better than having to deal with them. And I'm like, damn, that's fucking savage.
That is.
But true.
Wow.
I had no idea how we got onto that topic, but I don't know. I hope to not have to cut people out of my life, but occasionally you need to do it.
Damn, dude.
So what were you going to say?
I was just going to bring it back to the wedding.
Yeah, back to the wedding. So wedding, we're ready to go. Can't help but think about all these like next life stages. But I was talking to one of my friends who's like pretty committed to being single forever, or like not having kids, not having a family. And they were interviewing me almost in a way where it felt like they were trying to make sure that the way they're living their life makes sense, comparing it to whatever my thought process is, which I'm like, okay, I don't need to be having this conversation. I'm not questioning your life's decisions, but sure, let's do it for the sake of it. And no matter any drawback I can think of about having a family, it pales in comparison to the upside. To me, it's like any sacrifice I need to make where I can't just do whatever I want constantly. I can't just get up and go constantly. I can't just move around as freely. Like, I think that all that is overrated, dude. I think that there's something special about being committed to trying to have a family. Even in as unconventional as my life and lifestyle are, I'll figure it out. And yeah, so I can't help but like think about all these things that are coming up for us, but I'm ready. Bring it on.
Cool.
Bring it on. Right? Why not?
Yeah.
So on that note, we had an interesting email about family planning and having kids, and it was funny for a lot of you guys to hear how clueless I was about all this shit. So it's funny to hear some of the emails. So this one in particular was pretty good, and it was both comforting and interesting. So, baby advice from a fairly new mom. This email is called. I'm listening to episode 453 right now, and I have some advice/info relating to having a baby. I just had one 8 months ago, and boy, let me tell you, it rocked my world. They say going from 0 kids to 1 fucks you up the most, but also you learn a lot. So just keep that in mind. Great. Good to know. Anyway,
good to know.
Here's my advice. This is mostly for the early newborn days, aka when you're the most shell-shocked, LOL. Get the book, quote, Becoming Baby Wise, Giving Your Infant the Gift of Nighttime Sleep. Study it. Memorize it. Follow it. We did, and our baby started sleeping through the night at 10 weeks and never looked back. Game changer. Don't have a birth plan. Birth preferences, yes, but it's best to just go with the flow. C-sections aren't that bad. I had a scheduled one, and it was wonderful. When it comes to formula, I don't even know what she's talking about there, by the way.
C-section?
No, I know what the C-section is, but a birth plan. What the fuck is that? I guess that means C-section versus like deciding in advance.
Epidural.
Yeah.
Is that even how you
Epidural.
say it?
Epidural.
Ah, fuck.
Epiduro.
Epiduralo.
Epidural. Epidural.
Yeah, but planning that out.
No, but
natural birth, home birth.
Right. C-section versus pushing it out. Whatever. I guess that's what that means. We're learning.
We get it.
We learn. When it comes to formula versus breast milk, the baby just needs to be fed. Do not hesitate to supplement with formula, especially in the first few days until mom's milk comes in, which we've learned is a thing. You don't always have the milk right away. Some moms do, some moms don't. It can take a few days, and that baby needs its nutrients. Get a mini fridge with bottles prepped for overnight feeds or as a place to store breast milk if she's going to be pumping. Cool. If you're going to bottle feed, breast milk or formula, alternate feeds overnight so you can each get some decent stretches of sleep. I guess that means pumping out of the breast versus the husband getting up and giving it formula. Decent stretches of sleep. Mm-hmm. Fuck, dude.
She's been through it.
Fucking hell.
This is a seasoned person.
Get outside as much as possible in the early days. Sunshine works wonders. I have a side question right now. For anybody who's gone through this, do you look back on it fondly? When the kids are 6 and 8 and now you're not planning to have any more, do you miss those days with the little infant before they have a personality? I've also heard they turn 12 and suddenly they hate you. What the fuck is that? Mm-hmm. I hope to not go through that. Bro, you hate me? What do you mean?
After 11 years of not.
Why do you hate me? I love you. What did I do? I know stuff, dude. I know that I don't get the specifics of what's going on with your hormones and your relationships with people, and you're finally understanding that the world's an ugly place or whatever, but don't hate me. I'm your ally. I'll do anything for you. Don't take that for granted, right? Mm-hmm. What the fuck?
Did you snap at your parents at all?
I'm sure I did, dude. And my parents are still salty about the fact that I like lied to sort of have more flexibility with my social life. Like I'd say I was staying at a friend's house and just stay up all night and then like come home and sleep at home. Which isn't...
Where would you stay up all night? Oh, out?
Going to parties, going to strip clubs. I went to the strip club once when I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
We figured out a little way. So just like, I don't know, living life, doing destructive bad shit.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing that bad, but getting fucked up, hanging out, trying to meet chicks. I actually knew all the chicks. In high school, you don't meet chicks. There's chicks. This is the pool of chicks.
Mm-hmm. But you weren't like a dick to your parents, were you?
I don't think so. I think I was pretty respectful.
For the most part.
Yeah, and I wasn't drinking or smoking pot during the week either.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much ever. Because I had to have dinner with my parents. I didn't want to be high for that. And it just, I don't know, it felt a little too off the cuff, like a little too extra.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought my parents were great parents. And I hope that my kids appreciate me. The idea of them not appreciating me as I've like completely changed my life for them. Now, granted, it's selfish too. I want kids. I want to have a family. So part of it's me. But I also hope that I'm able to not be disappointed when they aren't the way that I want them to be. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. You can't help but have some preconceived notion of what your kid's going to be like. And then when they're not like that, I'm sure it must be hard to avoid the impulse to try to change them, try to make them be perfect. Anything they do isn't good enough because you know what you're disappointed with in your life and you don't want them to have to go through that. Mm-hmm. And suddenly that turns into you being an overbearing parent. My parents, for the most part, were pretty chill about all that stuff. They were like, whatever I liked was cool. I took on some of the things that they liked naturally, and probably because they didn't force it on me. I knew my dad was a good tennis player. He never forced me to play, and I discovered it later, and he was like, all right, I'll teach you. And then it became our fun thing to do together, Mm-hmm. So sorry for going through shit.
I asked.
Okay. Then the last thing, and this is one where I read this and I was like, damn. Do not hesitate to admit if you are feeling depressed. That goes for both mom and dad. Both my husband and I wound up with postnatal depression after having the baby. He recovered after a couple of weeks/months, but I didn't. Tried to force it down until it got really bad. It's not worth it. If they recommend medication, do it. The pediatrician will scream mom at each appointment, but never ask dad. Speak up if you're struggling. Give me the chills. I still don't fully understand the post-depression thing. I get some of it for the mom, like you've just gone through this like crazy physical thing to your body that's like rocked your body. And now you're trying to get your body back to what it used to be or something. I guess maybe that's part of it. I don't even know. Just the healing. I know that you're like not supposed to have sex for a while. I don't know if that contributes to it. Or is it just like this, now your life for this really long period of time is just keeping this thing alive, who is just crying and keeping you up all night. And is that what it is? Is it the change in the lifestyle? I don't get it. Because I know like the pandemic, for example, the like big lifestyle change there was what? Probably 9 months. And even in that first summer, we got to live life sort of normally, but like it was at least 9 months of like this shitty thing. In a way, I loved the break because I was feeling burnt out by doing comedy. And here's this time where I get to take a break because everyone has to take a break. So I don't have to feel like I'm taking a break while everyone else is getting ahead. We all are on pause. To me, that was priceless. Mm-hmm. I know that's a side thought, but I wonder that about the postnatal depression thing. For dad, especially, since I'm the dad, I'm not physically giving the birth. When I've learned, by the way, now that my soon-to-be sister-in-law and brother-in-law have given birth to their first kid, this is my first niece-to-be, I now am like close enough to it that I no longer want to give birth.
Really?
I realize how crazy of a thing it is physically, where I'm like, thank God I don't have to do that. I take it back. And I know I naively before said that it must be some wonderful thing, and I'm sure to some degree it is, and I could never possibly understand the connection that a mother has with her kid. However, still don't want to do it. But yeah, so this, what this woman's email is saying, I wonder what that is all like, dude.
Yeah. Well, if someone can answer that question,
yeah,
we just keep the chain of command going. We all keep learning.
Let's keep this going. Let's make
I don't have the answer.
Yeah. Let's keep me as prepared for fatherhood as possible.
Yeah.
Why the fuck not?
Yeah, that's nice. You guys send such nice emails.
They're so good.
Like, you guys are smart and you're really good at writing. Like, like it's nice to hear them. And everyone that's listening, like whoever wrote the email, everybody that's listening to the podcast appreciates the effort and the elegance that you put into how you crafted that email. Thank you. You guys all send great emails like that.
Agreed. They're very thoughtful, and we tell you care about us. We care about you too.
Thank you.
Anyway, overall, she says, go with the flow. Don't put too much pressure on yourself to have everything perfect, and don't get married to any idea of what things should look like. And do not be too proud to ask for help. Have your family around. Say something if you're feeling depressed, especially after that 2-week mark. Expect the unexpected. Enjoy it as much as you can. Time is incredibly fleeting, and they won't be this little forever. Oh. What a nice email. So, guys, thank you for all that. A lot of good stuff. We've been very reflective and thoughtful these last few weeks, Ryan, as we head into another winter, and we try to live our best life and be successful out here. It's tough out there.
It is tough out there.
And we're going to keep fighting the good fight. Thank you guys for listening. Buy tickets to our shows. Buy some of the merch. Keep supporting us, and we will keep delivering the best product to you. And we look forward to being with you for many years to come, like this big happy family that we are. NotJulio.com for tickets. Oops.podcast@gmail.com. Follow all our socials. Ryan is really polite. I'm at NotJulio, at NotJulioG on Instagram, on TikTok. Follow me on Snapchat. We're on all the stuff. Do you have any other names for any of your stuff? Or is Ryan is really polite on everything?
That's it on everything. And also just everyone's welcome to join the petty portion protest. And if you're not happy with the portion that you're getting, don't bother saying anything. Just turn around and walk out. We're going to make a difference. So,
let's make a difference out here,
you.
folks.